What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Happy Hendrix. We are on a night ops tonight. As you can see, we got the fleet out. We got a packed house tonight. We are going in search of northern lights, and I'm bringing you along. So hopefully this is not just footage that I'm gonna toss. We had pretty good lights at about 7 o'clock. It's about 9 now. We typically run this tour from 10 till 2 a.m. So hopefully we'll get up at our viewpoint and I can show you what the northern lights look like in Alaska from the top of Hatcher Pass. So we're gonna get loaded up in our machines here. Of course, we're running the Polaris Expeditions on tracks and get up to our viewpoint, get our guest up there, show them a good time. We got some cocoa, we got some marshmallows to roast. I think we even have some hot dogs if they want to get down on some hot dogs. But we're gonna get up there and have a good time. Let me show you how cool these rigs are real quick. So these are tracked 2025 Polaris Expedition 1000s, 4-seaters, nice heated and closed cabs. So we'll zoom up there. We've got, I think we're running 6 or 7 tonight. I can't count very good. Alrighty, we are on the move for our hunt for the lights. We've already seen some greens. There's a good green haze in the sky, so once we get up to our viewpoint, we should be able to get some good visuals. I may not be able to get it on camera, but I do have a really good photo camera, so if anything, we'll get you some really good still photos. All right, so this is our hill, so here you go. Alright guys, so my job tonight is to get the fire going. We got some good charred stuff from last night, so we can use that to get going. And we've got some birch bark in there, which is always helpful. We unfortunately didn't have a chance to get good firewood for tonight. We're probably using wet firewood here, but I got a secret weapon, propane torch. We get that bad boy into there, get it going. It'll get things starting to burn. I don't want to use all my starter, just in case. I am pretty proficient lighting crap on fire. So, start with that. I have a couple of small sticks to start feeding into here. With our small sticks, I should be able to get the fire going relatively easy. Look at that. Took the torch out. Seems to be going good. Of course, the smoke is going right in my face. Right from the get-go. I'm gonna have to move here quickly. It's a good thing. Fire's picking up so quick, I need to move. All right. There. They're way over there. All right, I'm not sure if you're gonna see this. Has died, but I hope all right, so here's the cooking portion of this video. A few folks, I don't even know if they were subscribers, most likely not, had some trash talking about my my video I did on smoked salmon. It wasn't detailed enough. I didn't show how to do the process. Well, I'm not a cooking channel. If you want to go to a cooking channel, the Food Network is available. But here's a little more in-depth for the people that weren't spiteful in the comments about my recipe for smoked salmon. So I'm making a big batch here. So I'm going to use a triple batch of brine. So that equates to 12 cups of water. So I've got 8 in here. There's another 4 here. And that's 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And it is hard and crusty and old. And then 3/4 cup of salt. This is just plain table salt. There's nothing special about this recipe. That's the beauty of this recipe, is it's so simple. Now, you usually just make your brine cold, but because the brown sugar is like concrete, I'm going to warm it up and I'm going to mix it in to my pot here. So, come along, I'm going to show you how to fix my brine. Stove on. Let's go ahead and put those last 4 cups of water in. I'm going to start with my salt. Just toss it right on in there. And then we'll see if the brown sugar comes out. Probably not. Oh, it did. Good job, brown sugar. Why do you work so good? Shout out to the Stones. All right, and I'm just going to mix this in here while it's getting hot. And hopefully it dissolves into a nice, wonderful brine. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll come back to this when the brine is ready. Brine all mixed up. I got the hard, crusty brown sugar to dissolve and the salt to dissolve. So now it's going to be a good brine. So I got to let it chill. So you can probably just put it inside your fridge and let it chill, but it's currently -6 here, so outside's a pretty good blast chiller. So yeah, the weather was calling for snow today, so I didn't think I'd be able to do this, but where's the snow? All right, so I got the brine outside chilling as we just saw. the next part is I'm going to start putting the salmon into the bucket to brine overnight. So I'm just using a large Rubbermaid Tupperware container. Whatever you got, use that. It's perfect. And of course, I cheat. Yeah, we're not packaging our own salmon. Catch our own salmon, but let somebody else package it. I mean, we clean it, whatever. Let them do the rest. Let them vacuum seal it. So what I did is, for the portions to fit good in the smoker, I just took my whole fillets, cut them in half, throw that microplastic in with our smoked salmon. It's going to be delicious. And then just dump them in there. So just dump them in there. Look at that. Look, that's some BS, but that is also some Happy Hendrix. So I'm gonna get these all thrown in here. Next time you see me, we're gonna be brining these up. All right, so brine's back in. It's nice and cool. Now we put the brine on the skin. Put the brine in the salmon. And then we let the salmon soak overnight. So I'll let you watch this intense pouring moment. And of course, we got our boys Matt and Rory playing in the background, watching their latest recovery. If you haven't seen it, encourage you to go watch it. I always love it when they work together. All right, brine in. One last swirl to get the good bits. And there you go. You just want to make sure your salmon is completely submerged. These two chunks here are stuck to each other, but they'll separate in the brine after soaking for a while. So just in a couple hours before I go to bed or something, I'll go in there and mess around with them and get them separated. But you want to make sure your salmon is completely submerged in the brine. And we're going to stick this in the fridge. When we can get these two to separate, then I'll put a plate on top to hold everything down. And it can sit overnight and brine. This might be an 8 to 10 hour brine. It doesn't matter. It's just going to get better. It doesn't take much after the brining. Put it on the rack. Of course, I don't dry the fish. I let the brine stay on it. People and opinions vary on that. And then it's about 3 hours in the smoker and it's good to go. So this is the whole longest and most difficult part of this process. Boop. All right, so it's the next day. I'm out doing some stuff in the yard, so I'm all geared up here. But let me show you the next step here on making our smoked salmon. So we have our container here. I'm gonna open that bad chicken up, and we're going to get our plates off of here. Bowls, whatever you want to call them. And there we have our brined up salmon. All right, so now we have our brined up salmon. Our next step is we got to actually let this dry out so it forms kind of a cured surface. I think they call it a pectin or something. Whatever. It's got to form some skin to hold the smoke on in. So let's get some chunks of salmon out. I'm going to place it on our racks, and it's going to slip and slide on us a little bit. Make sure we get it held in place. And like I said in my first video, a lot of people like to take this time here to kind of dry their salmon off and remove some of that excess brine from it. And I do not do that. I say, let brine gons be brine gons. And leave it on there. That's just my way. You can do what you want with your salmon. This is just how I do mine. See, that one's a little extra juicy. And we've got this last big chunk here, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. Do a little, as I like to say, Rochambeau. And then we'll put this big honker over here. Yeah, I like it. So we put them all on the rack. Then we put them back in the fridge. Let that skin set up. Just got to sit in the fridge another 2-3 hours. And then we'll get her on the smoker for a couple more hours and it's done. It really is that easy. Well, that's awesome. Now the front end's leaking on Satan. I'm not sure if Satan's gonna make it. May not be a project vehicle. There is a lot of issues that are popping up. Fun fact, it's sat around for so long. There's moss growing on it. There's a lot on the back, actually. Just thought I'd throw that in this video. So I'm out here in the garage. I'm grabbing a beer to throw in the smoker for a little humidity. Ironically, I don't drink, but I have beer around. And just to let you know how fresh this beer is, I'm pretty sure this is from my 40th birthday party. My wife threw for me, so it's a little old. I probably wouldn't drink it if I was still drinking, but it's great for a little moisture in the smoker, so that's where it's going. All right, so I emptied out the flue. I guess you call it the flue, whatever. The chamber on the smoker. And I've got my my bag of chips here, so I'm just gonna throw some chips in here. I don't like to overload it because then it doesn't feed right. So just throw a decent amount in there. It'll take it, a little while to burn through these, but it's always a mess too. Just throw some in there. It's probably a good start. All right, so we throw some chips in there. I'm gonna start it up so it starts smoking. Everything's so cold today. It's like 16 degrees today, but man, it feels terribly cold. So it looks like it's going. The next step is, of course, put the beer in the smoker. And the smoker is nice and warm. So we will... Yeah, that's hot. That's supposed to be down lower. Let's brave it. Yep, that's warm. All right, cool. Hot. So we'll throw our beer in here. Oh, yes, yes. You can smell it already. All right, so beer's in there. Seal her back up so stays in there. Let's see if our smoker's doing anything yet smoke-wise. Not really, but we did just get this party started. All right, we'll come back with some fish in there, and it will be smoking. We're starting to smoke a little bit there. I'll take my fancy tool, which is a piece of all thread with some paracord on it. Make sure it's smoking good. Seal it up, and this lid doesn't close with the crap anymore. So I have this real cheesy bungee that kind of holds it, whatever. I've been having to do it a little bit differently because it's so cold. Been hooking it up there, and it seems to work. And then I leave this cracked open just a little bit. Seems to really allow the smoke to really start coming out of there. Then of course, we have, I promise you it's in there. There we go. We have our salmon in there. So what we're going to do is I like to do several hours of a cold smoke, but it is really cold. So we're going to have to set our temp. We're going to set it down to 100 degrees. I don't know if you can see that or not. So we're going to set our temp, and then we're going to set a time of 6 hours, because it shouldn't take any longer than 6 hours. So we're going to set that time. And now she is going. And it is smoking. And now we play the waiting game. So I'll probably do a cold smoke for 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll crank the temp up to like 150 and fully cook that salmon once it's got a good coating of smoke on it. And it should end up being pretty good. So not much left to this top secret recipe. I don't know why, but it always seems like every time I'm smoking salmon, it somehow magically takes all frickin' night. I just need to check the internal temperature. I like to get the internal temperature to 145. I like a little bit drier, flakier smoked salmon, and so that's what I go for. $135 is pretty good. I think that's going to be good to go. Yeah. And look at that. My timer was spot on. Let's crank the temp up just one last little bit and see if we can't get a little smoke out of her for the last 7 minutes here. There's a plane flying right above me. Ah. These little GoPro batteries do not last very long in these lights. I think this is only like the second or third time I've ever even used them. Smoke, there we go. This gives me a chance to go get everything ready to bring it in. Can't really tell it's smoking on camera, I don't think. And the light. The light turned off again. I'll tell you what, man. It's the kind of day we've been having around here, but we'll get through it. All right, so the salmon is done. Smoked. Nice, just like I like it. Some people get a little weird about this. And what that is it's just some oils. Just fish oil. It wipes right off. It doesn't harm anything. Yeah, sometimes people get weird about it. The dogs are fighting. Get him, Louie. Get him. You guys are wild. Don't sit on Louie. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. All right, you guys want some behind the scenes footage? I just pulled these out. I am editing the video right now. What are you guys doing? What are you two doing, Bruiser? Why are you so crazy? Why are you so crazy, Bruiser?